Today's Italian house hunting adventure brings me to the small town of Cutrofiano in Salento, the southernmost part of Puglia, where we'll discover that finding a dream home isn't only about looking for a house. It's about falling in love with a city, its history, its people, and
surf and turf.
Its delicious local cuisine prepared with love, according to centuries-old traditions. Of course, I also found 2 stunning properties for sale, an early 20th century townhouse with those noble details we all love, plus a jaw-dropping modern Apulian-style villa on the countryside with a private mini forest. Pure Mediterranean living. Andiamo. Carissimi, I hope all is well. Do you know that feeling when you visit a beautiful place for the first time and you stop to imagine, this would be a nice place to live in? Well, that just happened to me today. The place is called Cutrofiano, a town of 8,500 inhabitants in what's called La Grecia Salentina, a network of 12 towns in Salento where Greek culture and language is an integral part of its history. Our first stop is in Piazza Cavallotti, the square at the heart of the village. Its main monument is the town's 19th century clock tower. Clock towers are ever present in Italian squares, as back in the day it was the only way that townsfolk would know the official time. A few minutes stroll brings us to the Church of the Immaculate Conception, a gorgeous Baroque structure from the 18th century whose facade is ornate with numerous sculptures. The church was built right outside of where the old city walls would have been, upon the desire of the numerous ceramic artisans in that area. As we'll see, Cutrofiano's history is deeply tied to its ceramic industry. Opposite the church is Cutrofiano's main square, Piazza Municipale.
So this behind me is Palazzo Filomarini, also known as Palazzo Ducale, the main monument, symbol of civil power here in Cutrofiano. It belonged to the main noble family who was in charge of the feud of Cutrofiano up until 1850. Also known as Palazzo della Principessa, the palace of the princess here to the local inhabitants. The story goes a noblewoman named Sarah Price from the English noble lineage married into Gaetano, one of the sons of the noble family of here, and this princess was so fondly regarded by the inhabitants of the town that they decided to call the palazzo after her. So Palazzo della Principessa.
On the same piazza is our next stop, and a real dive into the spirit of Cutrofiano's people. This is the Museum of Ceramics. Now hear me out. I think it's interesting. The artisanship in Italy wasn't only about creating for the elite. Here you'll see how, for centuries, expert hands crafted out of clay objects useful for daily life. Bowls, bottles, vases, popular art, and even toys.
So ceramics were also used for hygiene back in the day. Now when you see bathrooms, small bathrooms or non-existent bathrooms in my property tour, it's because there wasn't sanitation inbuilt indoors with pipings with modern day toilets. This was your toilet, and you wouldn't want to keep it indoors. This, on the other hand, was your washing machine.
A quick walk across the historic center brings us to Cutrofiano's most impressive monument, the Church of Santa Maria della Neve. It was built at the end of the 19th century over a pre-existing medieval church. It has a beautiful neoclassical facade that might have you thinking you're in Rome. But don't be fooled by its understated elegance. Another dimension, characterized by the Apulian Baroque, awaits you the moment you walk through its door. Its interior has 3 central naves and vaulted ceilings completely covered with frescoes from the 1800s. Some of its most beautiful and artistically treasured elements are found in its lateral altars. This is where the artistic excesses of the Baroque and Rococo have their expression. Here you'll also find sculptures of various saints used in popular processions throughout the year, and paintings by Francesco Solimena, a renowned 18th century artist.
E tu chi sei? Vecchio Renault. Niente da dire. Ho capito, sei un tipo misterioso, silenzioso. Ci vediamo in giro. Ciao!
Half the fun of living in Italy is speaking the beautiful Italian language, or learning it if you're not yet fluent. And the best way of learning any language is to immerse yourself and have fun. For me, nothing is as demotivating as a heartless list of words to memorize. Lingopie, today's sponsor, is the opposite of boring. It's basically Netflix, but with inbuilt tools to help you learn a language. You basically learn a language by watching real movies and TV from the country of your target language. Personally, I've been using Lingopie to train my ear and learn vocabulary in Dutch. Here's a brief glimpse. So I'm choosing this recipe video from Albert Heijn. Lingopie gives you a full transcript on one side of the screen and live dual language subtitles. So you can click on any word you don't know, hear the pronunciation, and add to My Vocab to later study and take quizzes with. There's even a built-in AI which can explain grammar concepts used at any moment during the video. Basically, this is a very realistic, practical way of immersing yourself in a language and learning from real usage, as opposed to studying large, long, out-of-context word lists. So check out Lingopie by clicking on the link in the description below. You'll have a free trial of 7 days, followed by an exclusive discount upon signing up. Highly recommended.
Okay, as always, we've made it to our place for lunch before the property tours. Today I'm going to La Piazzetta dei Sapori. This is a very typical place where they prepare catering, where you can come and pick up your lunch and bring it home, but also a very beautiful restaurant inside. Lots of local ingredients, lots of local recipes, with a wonderful menu of the day.
The philosophy of this family-run restaurant is freshness and generosity. Hence, my original idea for a simple lunch quickly ballooned into a gastronomic tour of the region.
So we have a little sampling for the antipasti. This is a seafood salad, so with squid, octopus, shrimp, celery. Then we have the parmigiano di melanzane. This is another classic from southern Italy. Fried eggplant, layers of mozzarella, and tomato. Next up, cicorielle from the fields right around Cutrofiano. Very good for you too. These are called panzerotti di patate Salentino style. Potato croquettes with a Salentino twist. Pepate di cozze, kind of like a mussel soup with fried bread, a bit of white wine, and parsley. Next up, fresh tagliolini pasta with seafood. We have scampi, mussels, some more squid, moscardini, I believe, and a bit of a tomato sauce. Wow. At this point, I don't think I could live without pasta. The seafood in Salento is top-notch. So this is what's called the frittura di mare. It's calamari, shrimp, scampi. Pezzetti di cavallo, horse meat stew, very typical of Salento. Now I know not in all cultures horse meat is eaten, but in Italy it has been historically for 2,000 years. Very hearty. Definitely a winter dish. So we've made it to the first home that we're seeing today. It's this beautiful palazzo from the beginning of the 19th century. What's so special about it is that it contains all of those noble characteristics that you would find in a palazzo from that period. We're talking the ground floor, top floor, 150 square meters total, asking price 119,000 euros. We're right down the road from the Palazzo della Principessa. So Centro Storico di Cutrofiano, gorgeous palazzo, stuff dreams are made of. Let's go inside.
So this palazzo consists of 2 floors, a ground floor and a first floor, each one having their own independent entrance, as you can see in front of us. The main door open goes right into the ground floor, and there's that small door to the left, which is an independent entrance to the top floor. A beautiful palazzo, as you can see, beautiful decorations in pietra leccese, a type of local limestone, which really gives it that noble characteristic of the end of the 1900s. We're going to enter into the ground floor, although just for a quick peek, because we're heading right upstairs and we'll finish the tour actually with the ground floor. So that is the small door which connects the two properties, although you do have the independent entrance, which would bring you right into these stairs if you came in from the outside. This brings us to what's called the piano nobile, so the main first floor apartment with its beautiful noble characteristics, a star vaulted ceiling, the beautiful floor tiles, and just a beautiful ambiance of light. From here, we have access to the three main areas of this top floor apartment.
So these are cementine tiles, also known as cement tiles, and they had their heyday, their glory day back at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. They're so beautiful because they're made by different dyed cement. So every cement had a different color, which was put into a casing or a mold and pressed down by a hydraulic press. That's why sometimes they're also known as hydraulic cement tiles. Everything made by hand, and they're just really, really beautiful. They give a certain type of atmosphere to the spaces that they're in that, in my opinion, ceramic tiles just don't match.
From here, we're going to head into what is currently the living room. As you can see, a very luminous space. We have the balcony with the huge doors letting in tons of sunlight. This is southward facing, so you receive plenty of light during the day. That small door to the right actually leads up to the rooftop terrace. We're going to see that in a bit. But first, let's head out into the balcony and we'll have a better look at the facade that we saw below. Here we are a stone throws away from the historic center and Palazzo Filomarini, but we're going to head back through. Beautiful floor tiles also in this space, and we're going to wrap around so I can show you the main bedroom. Beautiful floor tiles in this area as well, but as you can see, characterized by the beautiful star vaulted ceilings and just a really massive voluminous space that you have to work with. Really, really nice. As you can see, also the doors and framings are from the epoch as well. And here we'll wrap down to the third area of this top floor. This is currently what is the dining room and the kitchen. This is the space that requires the most work in this top floor apartment. So as you can see, the kitchen is dated. The tiles on the walls, the actual furniture in it as well, really has to be updated to bring it up to the standard of the rest of the apartment. But it means you can leave it up to your own imagination. This is also where the bathroom is located, so that might require some creative thinking of where to place that in relationship to the kitchen as well. The nice thing about an apartment like this, obviously we have the view here to the back, but you can separate it into two different units. You can live downstairs, rent upstairs, or vice versa, and that's highly requested on this channel. So I hope you can see the potential for a beautiful home like this in such a beautiful location like Cutrofiano. Holds a lot of potential. It does need a bit of love, that's for sure, but the potential is there, the vision is there. So we're going to wrap around all the way back through into the living room, through that small door that we saw before to go up to the rooftop terrace. As you can see, lots of stairs to get up there because the ceilings are extra high. Here we're talking maybe 4 to 5 meter high ceilings. And here we have a very spacious rooftop terrace. Here in front of me is where we would have the roof of the kitchen and dining room, and walking forward as I am brings us on top of the facade and that living room. So from here we do have views onto the historic center of Cutrofiano. We have the beautiful bell tower of the main church, also some views of the main palazzi of the town, and of course some of the statues peeking up from some of the facades of the churches.
So let's head back downstairs now to see the ground floor. So we're back at the ground floor. Let me run you through this area as well.
So here we are back onto the ground floor. This floor does require, I think, a bit more work than the top floor does. I mentioned the price was $119,000. I do believe that there's margin to negotiate as well. So keep that in mind if this property is something that's interesting for you. Once again, we have the beautiful star vaulted ceilings. The apartment is equipped with heating, with air conditioning, as you can see, so that is something to consider as well. It was lived in up until 2022, so it's still a place that you can move into immediately and renovate little by little as soon as you make your vision a reality. So on this downstairs, you can see there's 2 bedrooms, but it's actually a separated main area. So one side, this right side, gives you access to the bathroom. Swerve around to the back to get you into this main kitchen area. The kitchen is a bit more modern than the one upstairs. And you can peek back around. This is another bedroom. So Obviously, depending on how you'd want to use this, you can set this up as either a hallway, a secondary living area, and then the other one as the bedroom to get into the kitchen, or kind of arrange it to the use that you have in mind. Here we have also stairs going up into this storage space. This is also where the units of the installations for electricity, the heating, are all stored. And these windows can be open. Those are blinds, so a lot more light can come in here. And it brings us back into this courtyard. It's an exclusive courtyard, which does require a bit of love, that's for sure, but is very spacious and is perfect for a downstairs apartment. You have the rooftop terrace for the upstairs apartment for your outdoor space, which can be renovated, and you have this downstairs courtyard, which you can also use as the outdoor space for that unit.
So we're done now with house number 1. Let's go now to the beautiful countryside around Cutrofiano to see the villa, house number 2. So we've made it to the countryside to see this beautiful villa. We have this private driveway, that's a private gate in the back, and it goes forward about 100 meters maybe, 70 to 100 meters to the villa. Really beautiful, luminosity, open spaces, and plenty of shade. You have a beautiful terrain going around it with really tall eucalyptus trees and Mediterranean style plants. 3 bedrooms, it's beautiful, let's see it.
So the property consists of 6,000 square meters of garden, of land, and 190 square meters of the villa itself. Asking price is 570,000 euros. Now we are in Cutrofiano technically, but we're actually much closer to Aradeo, the town of Aradeo, and the town of Galatina, which is probably 2 times closer than the actual historical center of Cutrofiano. Anyways, we're inserted in this beautiful rustic context of the fields, of the Salentino fields, but we have something very unique, and that's what I really liked about this property, is the amount of fully grown, matured trees on the land. As you can already see to the right, it's basically a private forest is what you have, and so it makes the climate very nice during the summer. So we walk in from this outside porch into the inside, and as you can see, it's a beautifully renovated property. It brings us right into the living room. These large luminous arches letting in light. This is a recent renovation. The property is originally from the 1950s, but was renovated just a few years ago. So as you can see, this is really a turnkey property, really beautiful in a modern Apulian style, and it just oozes elegance. I loved being in this big open space, and what's really nice about it is you do have the trees on the outside, and so it doesn't really overheat. Every single one of the rooms is equipped with air conditioning. There's also heating, and here we are here now into the kitchen area. Now the stovetop itself is run by gas, although that is the only place that gas is used in the property. And you can see already looking out into the backyard. So these steel frames for these big open windows and doors really let you see the nature that's out and around you. So this brings us into the first bedroom here in the back. This is the ensuite bedroom. So it has the main bedroom area, but it also has this bathroom as well. This is a bathroom with a bathtub, toilet, bidet, sink, so a full bathroom. We'll come back out and go into the other area of this villa. And so we do have one big massive space in the middle, and then it's separated on the sides into this kind of night quarters. So this is bedroom number 2. Also very nice windows letting in lots of light there. Through the center door is where we have the, let's say, the main bathroom, so the non-ensuite bathroom, the generic bathroom for the villa itself. Once again with a bathtub, which is nice. And a peek into the third bedroom. All of the bedrooms also have the inbuilt cabinets into the walls, so plenty of storage space as well. Just really a perfect apartment to move into.
if you want everything done, keys in hand. But we'll head back outside because what's really, really special about this property and what I think is unique is that in Salento, you'll see lots of the villas are surrounded by farmland. And that's really nice. But very few of them are surrounded by forests like what you have here. And this is private forest. This is all yours. Everything that you see is yours. So it's basically a private Mediterranean forest as your backyard. We're now behind the property. As you can see there to the left, that's an artisanal well. So you have your own fresh water coming directly from your own property. And here's just a peek to the back. This is the back side. Up until that wall is where you have your property. So the property is surrounded on all sides by walls, fences. So just to give you a subjective opinion, as I was here, the air that you breathe is pristine. It's really an oasis of peace and tranquility with modern comforts right in the heart of Salento. Just a gorgeous, really, really nice property. Marco at justdreamitaly.com if you're interested in either of these two properties or if you're ready to conduct your own search for your own dream property in Italy. A big special thanks to my Patreon members. Love you guys. If you like my content and you want to consider supporting me, check out my Patreon. I gotta go deliver this postcard. Ciao, guys.